The 50 best PlayStation 4 games of all time. Just to remind you that there's a video like this one of PlayStation 2 games and PlayStation 3 games, so watch it after this one, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And also, this is just my opinion. Comment yours in the comments, that'll help me a lot. Thanks for watching, and let's go to the games. Red Dead Redemption 2, the story before Red Dead Redemption 1, with a new protagonist, Arthur Morgan, and an amazing storytelling with one of the most impressive open world in a game ever. Developed by Rockstar Games, and released in 2018. Resident Evil 7, the returning of Resident Evil to the true survival horror, with a new protagonist and story, and also a new perspective in an immersive first-person camera. Developed by Capcom, and released in 2017. Uncharted 4, the final Nathan Drake adventure, with impressive graphics and refined gameplay. Explore once again the universe of Uncharted with some old characters, and also new ones. Developed by Naughty Dog, and released in 2016. GTA 5, a PS3 game actually, but the PS4 version is still one of the best games ever made, so explore the most beautiful Los Santos with an impressively fun gameplay. Developed by Rockstar Games, and released in 2013.
Oh shit, I think we're about to find out.
You know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you?
Alien Isolation, the best Alien game ever, a true survival horror where you really feel the impressive menace of the alien, and be aware, cause it learn your moves. Developed by Creative Assembly, and Feral Interactive, and released in 2014. The Evil Within 2, explore once again the universe of The Evil Within, now in an open-world experience, with secondary quests and secret items, and amazing boss fights. Developed by Tango Gameworks, and released in 2017. Rainbow Six Siege, an insane competitive tactical FPS game that's so alive to this day, with a true need for cooperation and insane gameplay features. Developed by Ubisoft, and released in 2017.
Nice, Ratchet.
Sorry guys, we're losing a hostage.
Oh man, don't worry about it. Wait.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the new universe created by From Software, with mechanics of Souls-likes, but with a totally new gameplay and features. A very hard game by the way. Developed by From Software, and released in 2019. Infamous Second Son, one of the first games released for PS4, and still a very unique and fun game to play even in 2025, now with a new protagonist and characters. Developed by Sucker Punch Productions, and released in 2013. God of War 2018, the returning of Kratos, now in the Norse mythology, and with a son and a new objective, so explore this semi-open game with great characters. Developed by Santa Monica, and released in 2018. Control, a game with an immersive story connected to other games from Remedy, as Alan Wake. Discover the mysteries of this building and be surprised. Developed by Remedy Entertainment, and released in 2019. Battlefield 4, a great FPS with a fun story mode, but the most important here is the multiplayer, with massive maps with a lot of players fighting for the objectives. Developed by DICE, and released in 2013. Bloodborne, a PlayStation 4 exclusive that deserved a PS5 version with 60 frames per second, explore this dark and lonesome universe dominated by deadly creatures. Developed by From Software and released in 2015. Call of Duty World War II, a great World War II Call of Duty game with an incredible story and characters and a fun multiplayer in zombies mode. Developed by Sledgehammer and released in 2017.
Artillery's hitting the beach. Next assault wave ain't gonna make it.
Ghost of Tsushima, now with the new game announced, explore the beautiful universe of Ghost of Tsushima with a fun gameplay and an insane visual beauty. Developed by Sucker Punch Productions and released in 2020. Dark Souls 3, the last experience of Dark Souls, now with a faster gameplay and better graphics and obviously great boss fights and soundtracks. Developed by From Software and released in 2016. God of War Ragnarok, the final experience of Kratos in the Norse mythology. Explore now all the realms of Midgard with the characters from the 2018 game and also new ones. Developed by Santa Monica and released in 2022. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the most realistic RPG in a medieval world, a game that deserves your attention. There's a sequel already released that's a true masterpiece but is not on PlayStation 4. Developed by Warhorse Studios and released in 2018. Battlefield 1, the apex of Battlefield in my opinion, with great stories in different moments of the war, and an immersive and incredible multiplayer experience. Developed by DICE, and released in 2016. Celeste, a great platformer game, with a friendly visual and great soundtrack, but a very hard game to do 100%, believe me, I did it. Developed by Maddie Makes Games and Extremely OK Games, and released in 2018. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, explore the huge map of Greece in this massive Assassin's Creed RPG with thousands of secondary events and quests to do. Developed by Ubisoft and released in 2018. Alan Wake Remastered, a former Xbox 360 exclusive but now with a remaster version. Survive the horrors of the first Alan Wake game and pay attention to the story, it's amazing. Developed by Remedy Entertainment and remaster released in 2021. Death Stranding, even in 2019 Kojima was able to create a new type of game, but it didn't please everyone, but it's still a great and amazing video game experience, and the sequel is coming in 2025. Developed by Kojima Productions and released in 2019. Elden Ring, the definitive Souls-like experience, now set in an open world with hundreds of boss fights and secret areas. So believe me, if you like Souls-like, you gotta play this one. Developed by From Software and released in 2022. Metal Gear Solid 5, another game from Kojima, and now a new experience of Metal Gear Solid, now set in an immersive and creative open world, also with a new gameplay. Developed by Konami, and released in 2015. Uncharted Lost Legacy, a new Uncharted experience, but now with another protagonist that was introduced in the second game, Chloe. All the rest is in the same style of Uncharted 4. What's great? Developed by Naughty Dog, and released in 2017. Spider-Man, the biggest Spider-Man game until that moment, with an insane gameplay, story, and also the characters. And this is one of those games that's so pleasant to just stroll in the map. Developed by Insomniac Games and released in 2018. The Last of Us Part 2, the sequel of the acclaimed game of 2013, but nobody was ready for what was going to happen in this game. So if you didn't play it yet, be ready. Developed by Naughty Dog and released in 2020. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Remaster. I know, another PS3 game, but it's so good that it deserves to be on this list too. So just play this insane open world RPG. Developed by Bethesda and released in 2011. Batman Arkham Knight, the final Batman adventure in the Arkham universe, so follow his last missions in this amazing game, and with a new feature, the Batmobile. Developed by Rocksteady Studios, and released in 2015.
Sorry, Alice, it's not yet time. Another page, and I'll make you mine.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the reboot of Modern Warfare, released in 2019, with a brand new gameplay and engine, one of the best stories of all, and an interesting multiplayer. Developed by Infinity Ward and released in 2019. Fallout 4, the ultimate Fallout experience, with a big world with a lot of places to explore, and different types of weapons in the game, and also a good story, with multiple endings. Developed by Bethesda, and released in 2015. Horizon Zero Dawn, explore this universe where it was supposed to be over already, but somehow it's not, so unravel the universe of this game with a great gameplay. Developed by Guerrilla Games, and released in 2017.
Follow me.
The Witcher 3, the best Geralt of Rivia adventure so far, and still one of the biggest RPG games ever made, with multiple endings and infinite things to do. Developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2015. Persona 5, one of the biggest JRPGs ever made, with an immersive story and a journey full with great characters and surprises. Developed by Atlas, and released in 2016.
Ooh, Joker, you're looking cool. All out attack.
Monster Hunter World, a huge action RPG with challenging bosses and a fluid gameplay. By the way, the new Monster Hunter is already available and is really fun. Developed by Capcom and released in 2018.
Okay, the coast is clear. Let's get going while we still can.
Resident Evil 2 Remake, the remake of one of the most beloved Resident Evil games. So explore now Raccoon City Police Department with amazing graphics and an immersive gameplay. Developed by Capcom and released in 2019.
Hello? Anybody there?
Nier Automata, an action and adventure game with an impressive world, and if you never played it, get ready, it's much more than it looks. Developed by Square Enix and Platinum Games, and released in 2017.
Currently, our struggle against the machine life forms is at a stalemate.
The Last of Us Remaster, okay, one more from PlayStation 3, but this game is a masterpiece, so this one also deserves its place in this list. The game you know already, right? Developed by Naughty Dog, and remaster released in 2014.
I hear him up ahead. It's gotta be those fucking Fireflies, Italian. We'll be done with them soon enough.
Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel of the Horizon Zero Dawn, but now with better graphics even, and a few new features too. Developed by Guerrilla Games, and released in 2022. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the remake of the most beloved Final Fantasy experience, but it will be divided in 3 games, this one, The Rebirth, and another one that wasn't released yet. Developed by Square Enix, and released in 2020.
What didn't collapse?
Doom Eternal, my favorite Doom game, with a fast-paced gameplay, classic enemies and a huge arsenal of guns, and of course, some insane boss fights with precise soundtrack. Developed by ID Software, and released in 2020. Yakuza 0, the beginning of Kiryo's adventure, released years after the beginning of the first game, but was created to be the base of it all, changing some things even. Developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio, and released in 2015.
なんだよ。見てんじゃねえぞ、俺。
おい、ヤクザじゃねえのか、そいつ。
Shadow of the Colossus Remake, a game that's totally unique, with a lonesome and mysterious world, explore and defeat the great Colossi and unravel the story of the game. Remastered, developed by Bluepoint Games, and released in 2018. Undertale, an indie game with an impressive experience. Play it in your own way and see the consequences of your choices and be surprised by how good it is. Developed by Toby Fox, and released in 2015. Disco Elysium. This is another game that's very unique. It's basically an RPG, but with some very exclusive features and possibilities. Developed by ZA and released in 2019.
Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over. Unless anyone has.
Days Gone, survive in this chaotic world with your bike, escaping and facing the zombies, and also the other survivors of the surroundings. Developed by Ben Studio, and released in 2019. Hades, thought by many as the best roguelike game ever, set in the Greek mythology, with a fast gameplay and a story with a lot of informations. Developed by Supergiant Games, and released in 2020. Resident Evil 4 Remake, a great remake of Resident Evil 4, with a better character development in the characters and a refined gameplay and graphics. Developed by Capcom, and released in 2023. Yakuza Like a Dragon, the first Yakuza game in a true JRPG experience. Discover the mysteries of the clans, and meet very interesting characters through your over 40 hours journey. Developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio, and released in 2020. And these are the 50 best games in my opinion. Tell me, which games you think that should be in the list. Let me know that, just put it in the comments. Well, thank you so much for watching. Choose another video to watch, there are very good videos. Thank you, and so long.